Hey guys, in this video I want to explain how you can play the lands from something basic up to, let's say, a decent level, and later in another video I'll go deep into some specific ways of playing the lands. If you have any doubt about the ways of the lands, let me know, and as soon as I can I'll answer your questions. Let's start with the most basic thing about the lands. It is a weapon so clunky that you might wonder why it is the most unpopular one. And well, to be honest, this weapon is pretty basic to learn. Mastering it though is a whole journey. Most of its gameplay is based in precise guards and ton of pokes. If you are starting to learn this weapon, my best recommendation is to use guard 5 and guard up 3, just because of comfort. Once you have grasped some of the basics of the lands, you can pretty much go from a defensive setting up to a really offensive one. Regarding the multiple ways you can play the lands, even when in nature it is a really basic weapon, you can have many ways of playing it, like the evasive lance, tanky as hell, something in between, a basher, and going all out into the offensive, even when this weapon relies much more in a defensive playstyle. The most basic moves of the lance are their thrust. It is either 3 times A or 3 times H to execute the basic high thrust and mid thrust, and to keep attacking the monster in this way you need to press B to do this little jump. Once you have used one of these thrust moves, you can move forward, sideways, backwards by pressing B, and one direction. If you need to put some distance between you and the monster, you can attack, press B and backwards at the same time to execute a larger jump. With CR you activate guard. This what it's going to do is to block incoming attacks. Obviously the more guard points you have, it is going to feel much more comfortable, as the knockback is going to be reduced significantly, giving us the opportunity to keep attacking. Also, once you have learned how to use guard in a precise way, you can pretty much stay on the offensive all day long. And this is going to have a cool synergy with the skills like offensive guard. To activate this kind of counter thrust, you need to have pressed CR and then press A. In this way you enter in this kind of counter thrust mode, where you can continue with the basic A or X combo. But also you can use power guards. They are quite useful when you are starting with the lance, because you don't have to be super precise with your guards. The catchy thing here is that they use a lot of stamina. But also the cool thing is that once you receive a hit, your stamina consumption stops right away, for a short period of time. To activate this move, you need to press CRA, and after that, press B to enter into a power guard. And to attack, you press A, or wait for the monster to connect a hit with you, and press A to counter. You can also press H to do a leaping thrust. One of the best attacks of the lance is a charge sweep. In numbers, it is a good amount of damage, but slow to execute, so it kinda depends from the situation. To execute the attack, you need to press AX at the same time, and keep these buttons pressed. It is going to start charging, and once it is fully charged, our character is going to attack. To continue this combo, you can press A to deliver a high thrust, and soon after press AX once again to attack with another charge sweep. The next thing is guard dash, and to activate it you need to press CRH, one direction. That is going to make your character move. The cool thing about this move is that it naturally has 2 guard points. What that means is that, for example, if you play with guard 1 and use this move, it goes up to guard 3. After executing this move you have 2 options, either attack with your shield by pressing once again X, or a leaping thrust by pressing A. I recommend you to use leaping thrust, as it deals a good chunk of damage, and you can keep a kind of infinite combo. Here, to make it work, you need to press CRH, one direction, then A. After that, press once again CRH and another direction. It can be sideways, forward, backwards, and once again A. Rinse and repeat to your heart's content. This is a cool option to stay in the offensive, as you basically protect yourself in the whole process. Shield tackle is a bit simpler. It follows the same sequence of buttons, but you can only continue its combo with high thrust or mid thrust. The nice thing here is that you can stun the monsters with this. The next move in the list is dash attack. Quite simple to use, you need to press CR and then AX. That's how our character will start running. It is a good way to reposition. Once you start running, you can jump, move sideways, or change the direction. Once you start running, you can press A to execute a twin thrust attack. Something similar happens with shield charge, with the difference that this move consumes stamina like crazy, but it works really well to stun monsters. You press CR-AX to execute, and for the follow-up you have two options, X to attack with a thrust and A for a shield bash. And you can use any of these switch skills as follow-ups with Twin Bind or Sheathing Retreat, or even while jumping by pressing CR in midair. To use Twin Bind, you need to press CLX, and once the kunai has been used, you can press CLB to jump where the monster is located. This move also has guard points, which is really nice. And Sheathing Retreat can be used in some offensive ways, because you can stop using some skills like guard up, avoid some attacks, or simply if you have no way to defend yourself, get yourself out of the situation, and if you time it right, you won't receive any damage. For the last attacks, these are the ones with the best DPS for the lance, or potentially increase your damage output in a huge way. Let's start with Insta Block. In Sunbreak, this skill is way friendlier compared to the base game. Here you need to press CR whenever an attack is going to connect, so you can execute this counter by pressing X or A. The damage dealt can easily go over 1000 after landing both hits. And to activate it, you won't consume any stamina, and if you cover yourself after a single hit, you won't receive any damage. A Skyward Thrust is the best damage output for the lance, with the catchy thing that you need to land all its hits to make it worth it. Against large flying monsters, that it's really easy. Against small ones, it is not a good option. There your best bet is using a Spiral Thrust. Obviously, if you want to get the highest damage possible, the main idea is to activate its glow. You'll need to press CLA right when the monster is about to hit. That way you'll acquire this blue glow for 10 seconds. Keep in mind that this attack can be cancelled if you have no guard points, or if the attack has a huge knockback. For better results, my recommendation will be at least use one guard point. The hardest thing with the Spiral Thrust is controlling its direction, but there are ways to work around it. After activating it, you can start pressing the direction you wanna go, and that direction is going to be relative to your character's position. And once the second move has been executed, you can press A to land the third hit. And last but not least, we have Anchorage, which is a really friendly move. You don't have to do anything extraordinary, just calculate when you are going to receive a hit and activate it in the same way as a Skyward Thrust or a Spiral Thrust. Depending from the knockback, your lance is going to acquire a red, orange or gold glow, which can be combined with a Spiral Thrust to have a double buff, and on top of that with offensive guard, increasing your damage through the roof. What's cool about this move is that you won't receive damage once you activate it, unless it is a multi-hit. And that basically covers the main lance moves. With this, you can pretty much dominate a fight after practicing a bit. I repeat once again, the lance is clunky as heck, but you can destroy monsters real quick. I hope this guide is useful for all of you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.